My dear friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we're gonna discuss about multi-threading in Java. So I hope you will definitely enjoy this video. So without any further delay, let's get started. Now the first question that arises in your mind is that what exactly the multi-threading is. So let us understand that multi-threading in Java is a process of executing multiple threads simultaneously. The aim of multi-threading is to achieve the concurrent execution. So let's discuss the thread definition. Thread is a lightweight component and it is a flow of control. In other words, a flow of control is known as thread. So now let's discuss state or life cycle of a thread. State of a thread are classified into five types. They are new, runnable, running, non-runnable or blocked, and the last one is terminated. So here is the diagram of a thread life cycle from which each thread is going through in its life cycle. And please note this diagram, it is very important diagram. Now let's discuss each of the state from which a thread is going to travel in its life cycle. So let's discuss the new state. The thread is in a new state. It can, if you create an instance of a thread class, but before the invocation of start method. Next one we have runnable. The thread is in runnable state after invocation of a start method, but the thread scheduler has not scheduled to be the runnable thread. Next one we have running state. The thread is in running state if the thread scheduler has selected it. And the next one we have not runnable or blocked. This is the state when the thread is still alive but is currently not eligible to run. Next one we have terminated state. A thread is in terminated or dead state when it runs method exit. Keep in note that if the thread is in a new or dead state, no memory is available, but sufficient memory is available if that is in a ready or a running or waiting state. Now let's discuss how to achieve multi-threading in Java. So in Java language, multi-threading can be achieved by two different ways. They are using thread class and using runnable interface. First of all, let's discuss using thread class. In Java language, multi-threading program can be created by following below rules. So let's discuss these rules. Now, these rules are create any user-defined class and make that one as a derived class of a thread class. You can see this small picture. It shows that. Next one we have override run method of a thread class. It contains the logic of a performance any operation. Next one we have create an object of user defined thread class and attach that object to predefined thread class with the help of this statement which has class name object equals to new class name thread t equals to new thread and in parenthesis object then semicolon, and then class start method of thread class to execute a run method, sorry, call start method of a thread class to execute run method. Next one we have save the program with a file name .java. So this is the example. Here we have class name which extends thread class, and then we call the run method, and after that in that statement, and after that we created the object of a thread class and then start the thread. This is the example of multi-threading using thread class. Here we have multi-threading demo ex extends thread, and then we run the run method, and its system.out.println is my thread is in running state, and then we have public static void main method, and then creates the object of a multi-threading demo class, and then with the help of object call the start method, and after that the output is my thread is in running state. So please note this example of multi-threading using thread class. It is very important. So now let's discuss Java thread set priority method. The set priority method of thread class is used to change the thread priority. Every thread has a priority which is represented by the integer number between 1 to 10. The thread class provide three constant properties. So let's discuss these three constant properties. Here we have public static int maximum priority. It is the maximum priority of a thread. The value of it is 1. Public static int normal priority. It is the normal priority of a thread. The value of it is 5. Public static int minimum priority. It is the minimum priority of a thread. The value of it is 10. Keep a note that we can also set the priority of a thread between 1 to 10. This priority is known as custom priority or user-defined priority. Please note this. So let's discuss the constructors of a thread class. Here we have thread method, thread string name, thread object, and the last one we have thread object, comma, string name. So let's discuss each of them one by one. Firstly, we discuss thread method, which will be which will be execute to set the predefined name of a newly created thread. These names are generally in the form of a thread 0, thread 1. The syntax to call constructor is thread t equals to new thread. Next one we have thread string name, which can be used to provide user-defined name for a newly created thread. This is the syntax of that thread t equals to new thread, and uh, in that course we have new thread. Next one we have thread object, which can be used to provide a default name for newly created user-defined thread. Here we have the syntax user-defined thread class object equals to new user-defined thread class, and after that create the object of thread t equals to new thread obj. Next one we have object comma string name, which can be used to provide user-defined name for newly created user-defined thread. Here we have syntax user-defined thread class obj equals to new user-defined thread class thread t equals to new thread object comma second thread. So I hope you will clear that. Let's move to the next slide. So here are the some methods of thread class. Some of them are get priority, set priority, get name, set name, and all of them. These are used in the thread class. They are very important. Please note these. So let's discuss of the method of thread class. So let's discuss the first one. We have get priority. The method is used to get the current priority of the thread. Thread t equals to new thread int x equals to t dot get priority, and after that system dot out dot println x value it is. Next one we have set priority. This method is used to set the current priority of the thread t equals to new thread t dot set priority, any priority number between 0 to 10, or t dot set priority thread dot maximum priority. You can also writing according to your program. Set the priority of the thread. Next one we have get name method. The method is used to get the current executing thread name. Here it is syntax thread t equals to new thread string s equals to t dot get name system.out.println which is s. Next one we have set name. This method is used to set the user defined name of the thread. Uh, Here is the syntax thread t equals to new thread t dot set name, that is my thread. Next one we have is daemon method which return true if the current thread is background thread, otherwise return false. Here is the example thread t equals to new thread boolean b equals to t dot is daemon. Next one we have run method which contains the main business logic that can be executed by multiple threads simultaneously. In every user-defined thread, class run method should be overridden. Here we have the example public class name extend thread and then public void run method and the parenthesis statements. Next one we have sleep method used to change running state thread to ready state based on the time period. It is a static method should be called with the class reference. Next one we have here we have the example public static final sleep long millisecond then throws interrupted exception. After that we use try and catch block. In try block we use the statement thread dot sleep, that is 3000, and after that in catch block is a interrupted exception and its type and its object, and then we have the statement according to that in the catch block. Next one we have start method used to convert a ready state thread to running state. Here we have thread t equals to new thread t dot start suspended state or a suspended thread or method suspended method used to convert a running state thread to waiting state which will never come back to running state automatically. Here we have thread t equals to new thread t dot suspended. Next one we have resume used to change the suspended thread state waiting state to ready state. Thread t equals to new thread t dot resume. Keep a note that without using suspend method, resume method cannot be used. So here is the one question that arises in your mind is that what is the difference between sleep and suspended method? So let's discuss this. Sleep can be used to convert a running state to waiting state and automatically thread convert from waiting state to running state once the given time period is completed, whereas suspended can be used to convert a running state thread to waiting state but it will never return back to running state automatically. So that is the difference between a sleep and a suspended state. I hope you will understand that. Let's move to the next slide. Here we have a stop method. This method is used to convert a running state thread to dead state. Here is the example thread t equals to new thread t dot stop, and is alive method which is return true if the thread is in a ready or a running or waiting state and returns false if the thread is in new or dead state. Here we have the example thread t equals to new thread t dot is alive method. Next one we have current thread method used to get the current thread detail like thread name, thread group, name and priority. Here the example thread t equals to new thread t dot current thread. So these are some of the notes. Please note this. The default thread name is thread 0 If it is a main thread, default name is main. And the next one we have the default thread group name is main. The default thread priority is 5, that means normal priority. Next one we have join method, which can be used to combine more than one thread into a single group. Signature is a public final void join throw interrupted exception. Here is the example. Here we have try t.join method and then t2.join method, and all of the statement, and try block is closed. Next one we have get state method. This method is used to get the current state of thread. Thread T equals to new thread T dot get state. Next one we have yield method, which will keep the current executing thread into temporary pass and allow other thread to execute. Public static void yield method. So let's discuss the second type of uh, creating the thread in Java. Here we have, this is using runnable interface. Runnable is one of the predefined interface in java.lang package, which is containing only one method and whose prototype is public abstract void run. The run method of thread class defined with a null body and a run method of a runnable interface belong to abstracts. Industry is highly recommended to override abstract run method of a runnable interface because, but not recommended to override a null body run method of thread class. In some of the circumstances, if one derived class is extended some type of predefined class along with thread class, which is not possible because Java programming never support multiple inheritance. To avoid this multiple inheritance problem, rather than extending thread class, we implement runnable interface. So I hope that you can understand why you implement the runnable interface. Let's move to the next slide. Rule to create the thread using runnable interface. So there are some rules. Let's discuss all of them. Create any user-defined class and implement a runnable interface within that, and then override run method within the user-defined class. Next one we have class start method to execute run method of a thread class. Next one we have save the program with class name .java. Here is the example where we discuss all of the above all of the above steps. Here we have class name, implement, runnable. Next one we have public void run method, and then we have class name object equals to new class name, and then thread t equals to new thread, then start t dot start. Next one we are going to discuss is thread synchronization. Whenever multiple threads are trying to use same resources, then they may be changed to get to offer getting wrong output. To overcome the problem, thread synchronization can be used. So here is the definition of thread synchronization. Allowing only one thread at a time to utilize the same resources out of multiple threads is known as thread synchronization or thread save. In Java language, thread synchronization can be achieved in two different ways. These are synchronized block and then synchronized method. Let's firstly discuss synchronized block. Whenever we want to execute one or more than one statement by a single thread at a time, that means not allowing other thread until thread 1 execution is completed, then those statements should be placed in slide synchronized block. Here is the example we are going to discuss: class name, implement, runnable or extend thread. And next one we have run method, and then we have synchronize method. This is used for reference of that method and in that class in that method. And then we have the statements in synchronized flow, and after that close the all parentheses. So this is the example of synchronized block. Next one we have synchronize method. Whenever we want to allow one thread at a time among multiple threads for execution of a method, then that should be declared as synchronized method. Here is the example. Class name implements runnable or extend thread. Next one we have a public void run. After that a synchronized void one method, and then statements of in between that method, and then we have public void run method, and then we have one method, and then parenthesis close. So this is the example. Please note this example. Let's move to the next slide. So let's discuss that inter-thread communication. The process of executing of exchange of data and information between multiple threads is known as inter-thread communication, or if an output of a first thread giving as an input of a second thread, the output of a second thread give as an input of third thread, then the communication between first and third thread known as inter-thread communication. In order to develop inter-thread communication application, we use some of the method of java.lang.object class, and these methods are known as inter-thread communication method. So, these thread communications are inter-thread communication method are public final void wait long millisecond, public final void wait method, public final void notify, and then last one we have public final void notify all. So friends, that's all for today's topic. If you are new to our YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for upcoming videos, and not forget to share that video if you like that video. Till then, stay tuned with us. Thank you for watching.